My children, generations of the living in the line of Cadmos, nursed at his ancient hearth, why have you strewn yourself before these altars, in supplication with your boughs and garlands? To the breath of incense rising from the city with the sound of prayer and lamentation. Children, I would not have you speak through messengers, and therefore I have come myself to hear you, I, Oedipus, who bear the famous name. You there, since you are eldest in this company, speak for them all. Tell me what preys upon you, whether you come in dread or crave some blessing. Tell me, and never doubt that I will help you. In every way that I can, I should be heartless were I not moved to find you suppliant here.
Great Oedipus, O powerful king of Thebes! You see how all ages of our people cling to your altar steps. Here are the boys, who can barely stand alone. And here are the priests, by weight of age, as I am a priest of God. And the young men chosen from those yet unmarried. As for the others, all that multitude, they wait with olive chaplets in the squares, at the two shrines of Pallas, and where Apollo speaks in the glowing embers. Your own eyes must tell you, Thebes is tossed on a murdering sea, and cannot lift her head from the death surge. A rust consumes the buds and fruits of the earth. The herds are sick. The children die unborn, and labor is vain. The god of plague and fire raids like a detestable lightning through the city, and all the house of Cadmus is laid to waste, all emptied and all darkened. Death alone battens upon the misery of Thebes. You are not one of the immortal gods, we know. Yet we have come to you to make our prayer, as to the man surest in mortal ways and wisest in the ways of God. You saved us from the Sphinx, that flinty singer, and the tribute we paid to her for so long. Yet you were never better informed than we, nor could we teach you. It was some God breathed in you to set us free. Therefore, O mighty King, we turn to you. Find us our safety. Find us our remedy, whether by counsel of the gods or men. A king of wisdom tested in the past can act in time of troubles and act well. Noblest of men, restore life to your city. Think of how all men call to you, Liberator, for your triumph long ago. Ah, when your years of kingship are remembered, let them not say, we rose, but later fell. Keep the state from going down in the storm. Once, years ago, with happy augury, you brought us fortune. Be the same again. No man questions your power to rule the land, but rule over men, not over a dead city. Ships are only hulls, citadels are nothing, when no life moves in the empty passageways.
Poor children, you may be sure I know that all you long for in your coming here. I know that you are deathly sick, and yet, sick as you are, not one is as sick as I. Each of you suffers in himself alone his anguish, but not in others. But my spirit groans for the city, for myself, and for you. I was not sleeping, you are not waking me. No, I have been in tears for a long while, and in my restless thought walked many ways. In all my search I found one helpful course, and that I have taken. I have sent Creon, son of Meniochus, brother of the queen, to Delphi, Apollo's place of revelation, to learn there, if he can, what act or pledge of mine may save the city. I have counted the days, and now, This very day I am troubled, for he has overstayed his time. What is he doing? Has he been gone too long? Yet whenever he comes back, I should do ill to scant whatever duty God reveals.
It is a timely promise. At this instant, they tell me Creon is here.
O Lord Apollo, may his news be fair as his face is radiant.
It could not be otherwise. He is crowned with hay. The chaplet is thick with berries.
We shall soon know. He is near enough to hear us now. O Prince, brother, son of Meniochus, what answer do you bring us from the god?
A strong one, I can tell you. Great afflictions will turn out well if they are taken well.
What was the oracle? These vague words leave me still hanging between hope and fear.
Is it your pleasure to hear me with all of this gathered around us? I am prepared to speak, but should we go in?
Let them all hear it. It is for them I suffer, more than for myself.
Then I will tell you what I heard at Delphi. In plain words, the gods had commanded us to expel from the land of Thebes an old defilement we are sheltering. It is a deathly thing, beyond cure. We must not let it feed upon us longer.
What defilement? How shall we rid ourselves of it?
By exile or death, blood for blood, it was murder that brought the plague wind on the city.
Murder of whom? Surely the god has named him.
Heard long ago, Laius was our king before you came to govern us.
I know. I learned of him from others, yet I never saw him.
He was murdered, and Apollo commanded us now to take revenge upon whoever killed him.
Upon whom? Where are they? Where shall we find the clue to solve what crime after so many years?
Here, in this land, he said, if we make inquiry, we may touch things that otherwise escapes us.
Tell me, was Laius murdered in his home, or in the fields, or in some foreign country?
He said he planned to make a pilgrimage. He did not come home again.
And was there no one, no witness, no companion to tell us what happened?
They were all killed but one, and he got away so frightened that he could remember one thing only.
What was that one thing? One may be the key to everything if we resolve to use it.
He said that a band of highwaymen attacked them, outnumbered them, and overwhelmed the king.
Strange that a highwayman would be so daring, unless some faction here bribed him to do it.
We thought of that, but after Laius' death, now trouble arose and we had no avenger.
New troubles. What troubles could prevent you from hunting down the killers?
The riddling Sphinx song made us deaf to all mysteries but her own.
Then once more I must bring what is dark to light. It is most fitting that Apollo shows, as you do, this compunction for the dead. You shall see how I stand by you, as I should, to avenge the city and the city's god. And not as thou it were for some distant friend, but for my own sake, to be rid of evil. Whoever killed King Laius might, who knows, decide at any moment to kill me as well. By avenging the murdered king, I protect myself. Come then, my children, leave the altar steps, lift up your olive boughs. One of you go and summon the people of Cadmus to gather here. I will do all that I can, you may tell them that. And so, with the help of God, we shall be saved, or else indeed we are lost.
Let us rise, children. It is for this we came, and now the king has promised it himself. Phoebus has sent us an oracle. May he descend himself to save us and drive out the plague.
What is God singing in his profound Delphi of golden chalice? What oracle for Thebes, the sun-whipped city? Fear unjoins me, the root of my heart trembles. Now I remember, O healer, your power and wonder. Will you send doom like a sudden cloud, or weave it like a nightfall of the past? Speak, speak to us, issue of holy sound. Here's to our expectancy, be tender.
Let me pray to Athena, the immortal daughter of Zeus, and to Artemis, her sister, who keeps her famous throne in the market ring, and to Apollo, bowman at the far butts of heaven. O gods, descend! Like three streams leap against the fires of our grief, the fires of darkness. Be swift to bring us rest as in the old time from the brilliant house of air you stepped to save us. Come again!
Now our afflictions have no end. Now all our stricken host lies down, and no man fights off death with his mind. The noble Poland bears no grain, and groaning mothers cannot bear. See how our lives like birds take wing, like sparks that fly when a fire soars to the shore of the god of evil.
The plague burns on, it is pitiless. Through pallid children laden with death, lie unswept in the stony ways, and old grey women by every path flock to strand about the altars, there to strike their breast and cry, worship of Phoebus, in wailing in prayers, be kind, God's golden child.
There are no swords in this attack by fire, no shield, but we are ringed with cries. Send the besieger plunging from our home to the vast sea room of the Atlantic, or into the waves that foam eastward with trees. For the day ravages when the night stares. Destroy our enemy, Lord of the thunder. Let him be riven by lightning from heaven.
Phoebus, Apollo, stretch the sun's bowstring, that golden cord, until it sing for us, flashing arrows in heaven. Artemis, huntress, race with flaring lights upon our mountains. O scarlet god, O golden O Theban Bacchus in storm of Maenads, whirl upon death, let all undying hate
Is this
Go
your
come
upon
with
prayer?
heaven.
blinding
Then may the
torches,
answer
come
be
in joy.
come. Listen to me, and act as the crisis demands, and you shall have relief from all these evils. Until now I was a stranger to this tale, as I had been a stranger to the crime. Could I track down the murderer without a clue? But now, friends, as one who became a citizen after the murder, I shall make this proclamation to all Thebans. If any man knows by whose hand Laius, son of Labdacus, met his death, I direct that man to tell me everything. No matter what he fears for having so long withheld it, let it stand as promise that no further trouble will come to him, but he may leave the land in safety. Moreover, if anyone knows the murderer to be foreign, let him not keep silent. He shall have his reward from me. However, if he does conceal it, if any man, fearing for his friend or for himself, disobeys this edict, hear what I propose to do. I solemnly forbid the people of this country, where power and throne are mine, ever to receive that man or to speak to him, no matter who he is, or to let him join in sacrifice, lustration, or in prayer. I decree that he be driven from every house, being as he is corruption itself to us. The Delphic voice of Zeus has pronounced this revelation. Thus I associate myself with the oracle and take the side of the murdered king. As for the criminal, I pray to God, whether it be a lurking thief or one of a number, I pray that that man's life be consumed in evil and wretchedness. And as for me, this curse applies no less. If it should turn out that the culprit is my guest, here, sharing my hearth, you have heard the penalty. I lay it on you now to attend to this, for my sake, for Apollo's, and for the sick, sterile city that heaven has abandoned. Suppose the oracle has given you no command. Should this defilement go on forever, you should have found your murderer. Your king, a noble king, has been destroyed. Now I, having the power that he held before me, having his bed, begetting children there, upon his wife as he would have, had he lived, the sons would have been my children's brother, if Laius had luck in fatherhood. But surely ill luck rushed upon his reign. I say I take the son's part, just as though I were his son, to press the fight for him and see it won. I will find the hand that brought death to Labdacus and Polydorus' child, heir to Cadmos and Agenor's line. And as for those who fail me, may the gods deny them the fruit of this earth, fruit of the womb, and may they rot utterly. Let them be wretched as we were wretched, and worse. For you, for loyal Thebans, and for all who find my actions right, I pray the favor of justice and all the immortal gods.
Since I am under oath, my lord, I swear I did not do the murder. I cannot name the murderer. Might not the oracle that has ordained the search tell where to find him?
An honest question, but no man in the world can make the gods do more than the gods will.
There is one last expedient.
Tell me what it is. Though it may seem slight, you must not hold it back.
A lord clairvoyant to the lord Apollo, as we all know, is the skilled Tiresias. One might learn much about this from him, Oedipus.
I am not wasting time. Creon spoke of this, and I have sent for him. Twice, in fact. It is strange that he is not yet here.
The other matter, that old report, seems useless.
Tell me. I am interested in all reports.
The king was said to have been killed by highwaymen.
I know, but we have no witnesses of that.
If the killer can feel a particle of dread, their curse will bring him out of hiding.
No, the man who dared that act will fear no curse.
But there is one man who may detect the criminal. This is Tiresias. This is the holy prophet in whom alone of all men truth was born.
Tiresias, seer, student of mysteries, of all that's taught and all that no man tells, secrets of heaven and secrets of the earth. Blind though you are, you know the city lies sick with plague. And from this plague, my lord, we find that you alone can guard or save us. Possibly you did not hear the messengers. Apollo, when we sent to him, sent us back word that this great pestilence would lift, but only if we established clearly the identity of those who murdered Laius. They must be killed or exiled. Can you use bird flight or any art of divination to purify yourself and Thebes and me from this contagion? We are in your hands. There is no fair duty than helping others.
How dreadful knowledge of the truth can be when there's no help in truth. I knew this well, but made myself forget. I should not have come.
But what is troubling you? Why are your eyes so cold?
Let me go home. Bear your own fate, and I'll bear mine. It is better so. Trust what I say.
What you say is What you say is ungracious and unhelpful to your native country. Do not refuse to speak.
When When it comes to speech, your own is neither temperate nor opportune. I wish to be more prudent.
In God's name, we all beg you.
No, you are all ignorant. No, I will never tell you what I know. Now it is my misery, then it would be yours.
What? You do know something, and you will not tell us. You would betray us all and wreck the state.
I do not intend to torture myself or you. Why persist in asking? You will not persuade me.
What a wicked old man you are. You would try a stone's patience. Out with it. Have you no feeling at all?
You call me unfeeling. If you could only see the nature of your own feelings.
Why, who would not feel as I do? Who could endure your arrogance toward the city?
What does it matter? Whether I speak or not, it is bound to come.
Then if it is bound to come, you are bound to tell me.
No, I will not go on. Rage as you please.
Rage? Why not? And I'll tell you what I think. You planned it. You had it done. You all but killed him with your own hands. And if you had eyes, I'd say the crime was yours and yours alone.
So, I charge it then. Abide by the proclamation you have made. From this day forth, never speak to these men or to me. You yourself are the pollution of this country.
You, you dare say that? Can you possibly think of some way of going free after such insolence?
I have gone free. It is the truth sustains me.
Who taught you shamelessness? It was not your craft.
But you did. You made me speak. I did not want to.
Speak what? Let me hear it again more clearly.
Was it not clear before? Are you tempting me?
I did not understand it. Say it again.
I say that you are the murderer whom you seek.
Twice you have spat out infamy. You will pay for it.
Would you care for more? Do you wish to be really angry?
Say what you will. Whatever you say is worthless.
I say you live in hideous shame with those most dear to you. You cannot see the evil.
It seems you can go on mouthing like this forever.
I can, if there is power in truth.
There is, but not for you. Oh, not for you, you sightless, witless, senseless, mad old man.
You are the madman. There is no one here who will not curse you soon as you curse me.
You child of endless night. You cannot hurt me or any other man who sees the sun.
True, it is not from me your fate will come. It lies within Apollo's competence, as it is his concern.
Tell me, are you speaking for Creon or for yourself?
Creon is no threat. You weave your own doom.
Wealth, power, craft of statesmanship, kingly position everywhere admired. What savage envy is stored up against these? If Creon, whom I trusted, Creon, my friend, for this great office which the city once put in my hands and sought, if for this power Creon desires in secret to destroy me, he has bought this decrepit old fortune teller, this collector of dirty pennies, this prophet fraud. Why, he is no more clairvoyant than I am. Tell us, has your mystic mummery ever approached the truth? When that hellcat, the Sphinx, was performing here, what help were you to these people? Her magic was not for the first man who came along. It demanded a real exorcist. Your birds, what good were they? Or the gods, for the matter of that? But I came by, Oedipus, the simple man, who knows nothing. I thought it out for myself. No birds help me. And this is the man you think you can destroy, that you may be close to Creon when he is king. Well, you and your friend Creon, it seems to me, will suffer most. If you were not an old man, you would have already paid for your plot.
We cannot see that his words or yours have been spoken except in anger, Oedipus. And of anger we have no need. How can God's will be accomplished best? That is what most concerns us.
You are a king, but where argument's concerned, I'm your man, as much as a king as you. I am not your servant, but a polis. I have no need of Creon to speak for me. Listen to me. You mock my blindness, do you? But I say that you, with your own eyes, are blind. You cannot see the wretchedness of your life, nor in whose house you live, nor with whom. Who are your father and mother? Can you tell me? You do not even know the blind wrongs that you have done them on earth and in the world below. But the double lash of your parents' curse will whip you out of this land some day, with only night upon your precious eyes. Your cries then, where will they be not heard? What fastness of Kithaeron will not echo them? And that bridal descent of yours, you'll know it then. The song they sang when you came here to Thebes and found your misguided birthing. All this and more that you cannot guess at now will bring you to yourself among your children. Be angry, then. Curse Creon. Mark my words. I tell you, no man that walks upon the earth shall be rooted out more horribly than you.
Am I to bear this from him? Damnation take you! Out of this place! Out of my sight!
I would not have come at all if you had not asked me.
Would I, could I have told that you'd talk nonsense, that you'd come here to make a fool of yourself? Could I have told that you'd talk nonsense, that you'd come here to make a fool of yourself and me?
A fool? Your parents taught me sane enough.
My parents again. Wait, who are my parents?
This day will give you a father and break your heart.
Your infantile riddles, you damned abracadabra!
You were a great man once at solving riddles.
Mock me with that if you like. You'll find it true.
It was true enough. It brought about your ruin.
But if it saved this town,
Boy, give me your hand.
yes, boy, lead him away. While you are here, we can do nothing. Go, leave us in peace.
I will go then. I have said what I have to say. How can you hurt me? And I tell you again, the man you have been looking for all this time, the damned man, the murderer of Laius, the man is in Thebes. To your mind he is foreign born. Be shown that he is a Theban, a revelation that will fail to please. Pass his eyes now, a penniless man who is rich now, and he will go tapping the strange earth with his staff. To the children with whom he lives now, he will be brother and father, the very same to her, who bore him, son and husband, this, the very same, who came to his father's bed, wet with his father's blood. Enough! Go think that over. If later you find error in what I have said, you may say that I have no skill in prophecy.
The Delphic stone of prophecies remembers ancient regicide, and a still bloody hand that killer's hour of flight has come. He must be stronger than riderless coursers of untiring wind, For the son of Zeus, armed with his father's thunder, leaps in lightning after him, and the Furies follow him, the sad Furies.
Holy Panarsus, peak of snow, flashes of blood, that secret man, that all shall hunt him down, though he may roam the forest shade, like a bull gone wild from pasture. He ranged through glooms of stone. Doom comes down on him, flight will not avail him, for the world's heart call him desolate, and the immortal Furies follow forever follow.
But now a wilder thing is heard from the old man, skilled at hearing fate in the wing beat of a bird, bewildered as a blown bird. My soul hovers and cannot find foothold in this debate, or any reason or rest of mind. But now no man, and ever brought, none can bring proof of strife between Thebes' royal house, Labdacus' line, and the son of Polybus. And never until now has any man brought word of Laius' dark death, staining Oedipus the king.
Divine Zeus and Apollo hold perfect intelligence, alone of all players ever told. And well, though this diviner works, he works in his own night. No man can judge that rough unknown or trust in Satan's sight. For wisdom changes hands among the wise. Shall I believe my great Lord at the reigning that I saw him in the Cartian woman faced him of old? Prove his heroic mind, his evil words unlied.
Men of Thebes, I am told that heavy accusations have been brought against me by King Oedipus. I am not the kind of man who bears this untamely. If in these present difficulties, he told me accountable for any harm to him, through anything I have said or done, why, then, I do not value life in this dishonor. It is not as through these rumors touch upon some private indiscretion. The matter is grave. The fact is that I am being called disloyal to my state, to my fellow citizen, to my friends.
He may have spoken in anger, not from his mind.
But did you not hear him say I was the one who seduced the old prophet into lying?
The thing was said, I do not know how soon.
But you were watching! Were his eyes steady? Did he not look like a man in his right mind?
I do not know. I cannot judge the behavior of great men. But here is the king himself.
So you dared come back?
No,
Why? How brazen of you to come to my house, you murderer! You think I do not know that you plotted to kill me? Plotted to steal my throne? Tell me, in God's name, am I a coward? A fool? Fool that you should dream you could accomplish this? A fool who could not see your slippery game? A coward? Not to fight back when I saw it? You are a fool, Creon. Are you not? Hoping without squander or to friends to get through. Thrones may be won, but you can do neither.
Now listen to me. You have talked. Let me talk too. You cannot judge unless you know the facts.
You speak well. There's one fact I find it hard to learn from the deadliest enemy I have.
That above all, I must dispute with you.
That above all, I will not hear you deny.
If you think there is anything good in being stubborn against all reason, then I say you are wrong.
If you think a man can sin against his own kind and not be punished for it, I say you are mad.
I agree. But tell me, what have I done to you?
You advised me to send for that wizard, did you not?
I did. I should do it again.
Very well. Now tell me, how long has it been since Laius,
What of Laius?
since he vanished in that onset by the road?
It was long ago, a long time.
And this prophet, was he practicing here then?
He was, and with honor as now.
Did he speak of me at that time?
He never did, at least not when I
But,
was present.
but, the inquiry. I suppose you held one?
We did, but we learned nothing.
Why did the prophet not speak against me then?
I do not know, and I am the kind of man who holds his tongue when he has no facts to go on.
There's one fact that you know, and you could tell it.
What fact is that? If I know it, you shall have it.
If he were not involved with you, he could not say that it was I who murdered Laius.
If he says that, you are the one that knows it. But now, it is my turn to question you.
Put your question. I am no murderer.
First then, you married my sister,
I married your sister.
and you ruled this kingdom equally with her.
Everything that she wants, she has from me.
And I am third, equal to both of you.
That is why I call you a bad friend.
No, reason it out, as I have done. Think of this first. Would any sane man prefer power, with all a king's anxieties, to that same power and the grace of sleep? Certainly not I. I have never longed for the king's power, only his rights. Would any wise man differ from me in this? As the matter stands, I have my way in everything, with your consent, and no responsibilities. If I were king, I should be a slave to politics. How could I desire a scepter more than what is now mine? Untroubled influence. No, I have not gone mad. I need no honor, except those with perquisites I have now. I am welcome everywhere. Every man salutes me, and those who want your favor seeks my ear. Since I know how to manage what they ask, should I exchange this ease for anxiety? Beside, no sober mind is treasonable. I hate anarchy. I never would deal with any man who likes it. That's what I have said. Go to the priestess at Delphi. Ask if I quoted her correctly. And as for the other thing, if I am found guilty of with Tiresias, then sentence me to death. You have my word. It is a sentence I should cast my vote for, but not without evidence. You do wrong when you take good men for bad, bad men for good. A true friend thrown aside, why life itself is not more precious. In time you will know this well, for time and time alone will show the just men, true scoundrels, and discovered in a day.
Do This is well said, and a prudent man would ponder it. judgments too quickly or very.
But is he not quick in his duplicity? And shall I not be quick to parry him? Would you have me stand still, hold my peace, and let this man win everything through my inaction?
Yeah. And you want? What is it then? To banish me?
No, that's what I said. It is your death I wish, so that all the world may see what treason means.
You will persist then. You will not believe me.
How can I believe you?
Then you are a fool.
To save myself?
Injustice. Think of it.
You are evil incarnate.
But suppose that you are wrong.
Still, I must rule.
But not if you rule badly.
Oh, city!
It is my city too.
Now, my lords, be still. I see the queen, Eopas, coming from her palace chambers, and in this time she came for the sake of you both. This dreadful quarrel can be resolved to her.
Poor foolish man, what wicked din is this? With this we seek to death. Is it not shameful that you should rake some private quarrel up? Come into the house, and you, Crayon, go now. Let us have no more of this stalemate over nothing.
Nothing? No, sister. What your husband plans for me is one of two great evils. Exile or death.
He is right. Why, woman, I have caught him squarely, plotting against my life.
No! Let me die, accursed, if ever I have wished you harm.
Ah, believe it, Oedipus. In the name of the gods, respect this oath of his, for my sake, for the sake of these people here.
Open your mind to her, my lord. Be ruled by her, I beg you.
What would you have me do then?
Respect Creon's word. He has never spoken like a fool. And
I
now
know
he
what you ask!
I do.
Speak on then.
A friend so sworn should not be treated so, in blind malice and without final proof.
You are aware, I hope, that what you say means death for me, or exile at least.
No, I swear by Jesus, first in heaven, may I die friendless and a curse, the worst of deaths, if ever I meant that. It is the withering fields that hurt my sick heart. Must we bear all these ills, and now your blood is more.
Then let him go! And let me die, if I must. Are we driven by him in shame from the land of Thebes? It is your unhappiness, and not his thought, that touches me. As for him, where, wherever he goes, hatred will follow him.
Ugly in yielding, as you are ugly in rage. Natures like your chiefly torments themselves.
Can you not go? Can you not leave me?
I can. You do not know me, but I know the city knows me. And it's in its eyes I am just, if not in yours.
Lady Eucas, did you not ask the king to go to his chambers?
First, tell me what has happened.
There was suspicion without evidence, yet it rankled, as even false charges were,
On both sides?
on both.
But what was said?
Oh, let it rest. Let it be done with. Have we not suffered enough? Nicholas?
Oh, he would not commit himself to such a charge. But he has brought in that damnable soothsayer to tell his story.
Oedipus, it is not want only I have told you. You must know I should count myself unwise. To the point of madness should I now forsake you. You under whose hand in the storm of another time, our dear land sailed out free, but now it's land fast at the helm.
In God's name, Oedipus, inform your wife as well. Why are you so set in this hard anger?
I will tell you. For none of these men deserves my confidence as you do. It is Creon's work. His treachery. His plotting against me.
Go on, if you can make this clear to me.
He charges me with the murder of Laius.
Has he some knowledge, or does he speak from hearsay?
He would not commit himself to such a charge, but he has brought in that damnable soothsayer to tell his story.
Set your mind at rest. If it is a question of sooth hearsay, sayers, I tell you, that you will find no man whose craft give you knowledge of the unknowledgeable. Here is my proof. An oracle was reported to Laius once. I will not say from Phoebus himself, but from his appointed ministers at any rate, that his doom would be death at the hands of his own son, his son born of his flesh and of mine. Now, you remember that story. Laius was killed by murdering stranger where three highways meet. But his child has not been 3 days in this world, before the king had pierced the baby's ankle, and left him to die on a lonely mountainside. Thus, Apollo never caused that child to kill his father, and it was not Laius' fate to die at the hands of his son, as he had feared. This is what prophets and prophecies are worth. Have no dread of them. It is God himself who can show us what he wills in his own ways.
How strange. A shadowy memory crossed my mind. Just now, while you were speaking, it chilled my heart.
What do you mean? What memory do you speak of?
If I understand you, Laius was killed at a place where three roads meet.
So it was said. We have no later story.
Where did it happen?
Philkias. It is called at the place where the Theban way divides into the roads towards Delphi and Zulia.
When?
We had the news not long before you came, and proved the right to your succession here.
Ah, God, what net have you been weaving for me?
Oedipus, what does this trouble you?
Do not ask me yet. First, tell me how Laius looked, and tell me, how old was he?
He was tall, his hair just touched with white. His form was not unlike your own.
Ah, I think that I myself may be accursed by my own ignorant edict.
You speak strangely. It makes me terrible to look at you, my king.
I am not sure what that blind man cannot see, but but I should know better if you were to tell me.
Anything, though I dread to hear you ask it.
Was the king lightly escorted, or did he ride with a large company, as a ruler should?
There were 5 men with him in all. One was herald, and a single chariot, which he was driving.
Alas, that makes it plain enough. But who? Who told you how it happened?
A house servant, the only one to escape.
Is he still a servant of ours?
No, for when he came back at from when he came back at last and found you enthroned in the place of the dead king, he came to me, touched my hand with his, and begged that I would send him away to the frontier district, where only shepherds go, as far away from the city
Inis
as
ito
I
mo.
could send him.
Dadala ko lang to.
I granted his prayer, for although the man was a slave, he had earned more than this favor at my hands.
Can he be called back quickly?
Easily, but why?
I have taken too much upon myself, without inquiry. Therefore I wish to consult him.
Then he shall come. But am I not one also, to whom you might confide these fears of yours?
That is your right. It will not be denied you. Now, least of all, for I have reached a pitch of wild foreboding. Is there anyone to whom I should sooner speak? Polybus of Corinth is my father. My mother is a Dorian, Merope. I grew up chief among men in Corinth until a strange thing happened. Not worth my passion, it may be, but strange. At a feast, a drunk, at a feast, a drunken man maundering his cups cries out that I am not my father's son. I contained myself that night, though I felt anger and a sinking heart. The next day I visited my father and mother, and I questioned them. They stormed, calling it the slanderous rant of a fool, and this relieved me. Yet the suspicion remained always aching in my mind. And I knew there was talk. I could not rest. And finally, saying nothing to my parents, I went to the shrine at Delphi. The god dismissed my question without reply. He spoke of other things. Some were clear, full of wretchedness, dreadful, unbearable, as that I should lie with my own mother, breed children from whom all men turn their eyes, and that I should be my father's murderer. I heard of this and fled. And from that day, Corinth to me was only in the stars descending, ending in that quarter of the sky. As I wandered further and farther on my way, to a land where I should never see the evil sung by the oracle. And I came to this country where, so you say, King Elias was killed. I will tell you all that happened there, my lady. There were 3 highways coming together at the place I passed, and there a herald came towards me, and a chariot drawn by horses, with a man such as you describe, seated in it. The groom leading the horses forced me off the road at his lord's command. But as the charioteer lurched over towards me, I struck him in my rage. The old man saw me and brought his double goad down upon my head as I came abreast. He was paid back, and more. Swinging my club in my right hand, I knocked him off out of his car, and he rolled onto the ground. I killed them. I killed them all. Now, if that stranger and Laius were kin, where's a man more miserable than I, more hated by the gods? Citizen and alien alike must never shelter me or speak to me. I must be shunned by all, and I myself pronounce this malediction upon myself. Think of it. I have touched you with these hands that killed your husband. What defilement! Am I all evil? Then it must be so. So I must flee from Thebes, yet never again see my own countrymen, my own country, for fear of joining my mother in marriage and killing Polybus, my father. Ah, if I was created so, born to this fate, who could deny the savagery of God? O holy majesty of heavenly powers! May I never see that day, never! Rather let me vanish from the race of men, than know the abomination destined me.
We
Argus.
too, my lord, have felt dismay at this. But there is hope. You have yet to hear the shepherd.
Indeed, I fear no other hope is left me.
What do you hope from him when he comes?
This much, if his account of the murder tallies with yours, then I am cleared.
What was it that I said of such importance?
Why, marauders, you said, killed the king. According to this man's story, if he maintains that still, if there were several, clearly the guilt is not mine. I was alone. But if he says one man, single-handed did it, then all evidence points to me.
You may be sure that he said that there were several. And can he call back that story now? He cannot. The whole city heard it as plainly as I. But suppose he alters some details of it. He cannot ever show that Laius' death fulfilled the oracle for Apollos. Fulfilled the oracle, for Apollo said, my child was doomed to kill him. And my child, my poor baby, it was my child that died first. No, from now on, where oracles are concerned, I will not waste a second thought of any.
You may be right. But come, let Owen go for the shepherd at once. This matter must be settled.
I will send for him. I will not wish to crush you in anything, and surely not in this. Let us go in.
Let me reverent in the ways of right, lowly the paths I journey on. Let all my words and action keep the laws of the pure universe, from highest heaven handed down, for heaven is the right bright nurse. Those generation of the realms of light, ah, never of mortal kind were they begot. Not are they slaves of memory, lost in sleep. Their father is greater than time, and ages not.
The tyrant is a child of pride, who drinks from his great sitting cup. Recklessness and vanity drew from his high crest headlong. It plummets to the dust of hope. That strong man is not firm, but let no fierce ambition be denied. May God protect the restless state, in government, in common policy, who will fear God and on his ordinance.
Haughtiness and the high hand of disdain tempt and outrage God's holy law. And any mortal who dares hold no immortal power in awe will be caught up in a net of pain, the price for which his levity is sold. Let each man take due earnings then, and keep his hand from holy things, and from blasphemy stand apart, else the crackling blast of heaven blows on his head and on his desperate heart. Though fools will honor impious men, in their cities no tragic poet sings.
Shall we lose faith in Delphi's obscurities? You have heard the word scorn, discredited in the sacred wood. Of Zeus at the least there is no more. Deceit and that strange prophecies must make a pattern yet to be understood. Thus, if indeed you are Lord of all, thrones in light over night and day, mirrors in your endless mind, our masters call the oracle, words on the wind, and
Prince of
Delphi's
Thebes,
vision
it
blind.
has occurred to
Their
me
hearts
to
no
visit
longer
the
know
altars of the
color,
god,
reverence for the
bearing these
gods has died
branches
away.
as a supplant and this incense. Our king is not himself. His noble soul is overwrought with these fantasies of dread. Else, he would consider the new prophecies in the light of the old. He will listen to any voice that speak disaster, and my advice goes for nothing. To you then, Apollo, Lycian Lord, since you are nearest, I turn in prayer. Receive these offerings, and grant us deliverance from the defilement. Our hearts are heavy with fear. When we see our leader distracted and helpless sailor, are terrified by confusion of their helmsman.
Friends, no doubt you can direct me. Where shall I find the house of Oedipus? Or better still, where is the king himself?
It is this very place, stranger. He is inside. This is his wife and mother of his children.
I wish her happiness in a happy house, blessed in all the fulfillment of her marriage.
I wish as much for you. Your courtesy deserves a like good fortune. But now, tell me, why have you come? What have you to say to us?
Good news, my lady, for your house and your husband.
What news? Who sent you here?
I am from Corinth. The news I bring I ought to mean joy for you. Though it may be you will find some grief in it.
What is it? How can it touch us in both ways?
The word is that the people of Isthmus intend to call Oedipus to be their king.
But old King Polybus, is he not reigning still?
No, that holds him in his sepulchre.
What are you saying? Polybus is dead?
If I am not telling the truth, may I die myself.
Go on quickly. Tell this to your master. O riddlers of God, of riddlers of God's will, where are you now? This is the man whom Oedipus long ago fled so in dread of destroying him. But it was another fate by which he died.
Dearest Jocasta, why have you sent for me?
Listen to what this man says, and then tell me what has become of these solemn prophecies.
Who is this man? What is his news for me?
He has come from Corinth to announce your father's death.
Is it true, stranger? Tell me in your own words.
I cannot say it more clearly. The king is dead.
Was it by treason? Or by an attack of illness?
A little things brings old men to their rest.
So it was sickness then?
Yes, and his many years.
Why should a man respect the Pythian hearth, or give heed to the birds that jangle above his head? They prophesied that I should kill Polybus, kill my own father, but he is dead and buried, and I am here. I never touched him, never, unless he died of grief for my departure. Sure. And thus, in a sense, through me, no. Polybus has packed the oracles off with him in underground. They are but empty words now.
Had I not told you so?
You had! It was my faint heart that betrayed me.
From now on, never think of those things again.
And yet, must I not fear my mother's bed?
Why should anyone in this world be afraid? Since fate rules us and nothing can be foreseen, a man should live only for the present day. Have no more fear of sleeping with your mother. How many men in dreams have lain with their mothers? No reasonable man is troubled by such thing.
That is true. Only, if only my mother, otherwise not still alive. But she is alive. I cannot help my dread.
Yet this news of your father's death is wonderful.
Wonderful, but I fear the living woman.
Tell me, who is the woman that you fear?
It is Merope, man of the what? Man, the wife of King Polybus.
Merope? Why should you be afraid of her?
An oracle of the gods, a dreadful saying.
Can you tell me about it, or are you sworn to silence?
I can tell you, and I will. Apollo said through his prophet that I was the man who should marry his own mother, shed his father's blood with his own hands. And so, for all these years, I have kept clear of Corinth, and no harm has come, though it would be sweet to see my parents again.
And is this the fear that drove you out of Corinth?
Would you have me kill my own father?
As for that, you must be reassured by the news I gave you.
If you could reassure me, I would reward you.
I had that in mind, I will confess. I thought I could count on you when you returned to Corinth.
No, I will never go near my parents again.
Ah, son, you still do not know what you are doing.
What do you mean? In the name of God, tell me!
If these are your reasons for not going home,
I tell you, I fear the oracle may come true.
and guilt may come upon you through your parents,
That is the dread that is always in my heart.
can you not see that all your fears are groundless?
How can you say that? They are my parents, surely.
Polybus was not your father,
Not my father?
no more your father than the man speaking to you.
But you are nothing to me.
Neither was he.
Then why did he call me son?
I will tell you. Long ago, he had you from my hands as a gift.
Then how could he love me so if I was not his?
He had no children, and his heart turned to you.
What of you? Did you buy me? Did you find me by chance?
I came upon you, the crooked pass of Kithairon,
And what were you doing there?
tending my flocks.
A wandering shepherd?
But your Savior, son, that day,
From what did you save me?
your uncle should tell you that.
Ah, stranger, what you speak of that childhood pain?
I cut the bands that tied your ankles together.
I've had that mark for as long as I can remember.
That was why you were given the name you bear.
God! Was it my father or my mother who did it? Tell me!
I do not know. The man who gave you to me can you can tell you better than I.
It was not you that found me? But another?
It was another shepherd gave you to me.
Who was he? Can you tell me who he was?
I think he was said to be one of Laius' people.
You mean the Laius, who was king here years ago?
Yes, King Laius, and the man who was one of his herdsmen.
Is he still alive? Can I see him?
These men here know best about such things.
Does anyone here know the shepherd that he's talking about? Have you seen him in the fields or in the town? If you have, tell me. It is time things were made plain.
I think the man he means is that same shepherd you have already asked to see. Eucas perhaps could tell you something.
Do you know anything about him, lady? Is he the man we have summoned? Is that the man the shepherd means?
Why think of him? Forget this herdsman. Forget it all. This
How
talk
can,
is waste of time.
how can you say that when the clues to my true birth are in my hands?
For God's love, let us have no more questioning. Is your life nothing to you? My own pain is enough for me to bear.
You need not worry. Suppose my mother a slave and born of slaves, no baseness can touch you.
Listen to me, I beg you. Do not do this thing.
I will not listen. The truth must be made known.
Everything that I say is for your own good.
My own good snaps my patience. Patience. Then I want none of it.
If you're fatally wrong, may you never learn who you are.
Go, one of you, and bring the shepherd here. Let's leave this woman to brag of her royal name.
Ugh, miserable! This is the only word I have for you now. That is the only word I can ever have.
Why has she left us, Oedipus? Why has she gone for a passion of sorrow? I fear this silence something dreadful may come to it.
Let it come! However base my verse, I must know about it. The queen, like a woman, is perhaps ashamed to think of my low origin. But I am a child of luck. I cannot be dishonored. Luck is my mother. The passing months, my others have seen me rich and poor. If this is so, how could I wish that I were someone else? How could I not be glad to know of my birth? Let's leave to the shepherd.
If ever the coming time were known, to my heart's pondering, Kithairon, now by heaven I see the torches, at the festival of the next full moon, and see the dance, and hear the choir sing. A grace to your gentle shade, mountain where Oedipus was found, O mountain guard of a noble race, may the God who heals us lend his aid, and let that glory come to pass, for our king's cradling ground.
Of the nymphs that flower beyond the years, who bore you royal child? To pan of the hills of the timberline upon, cold in the light where the upland lay clear, of hermits for whom Kylie's height are piled, of flush as evening cloud. Great Leontis, roamer of mountains, he, was it he who found you there, and caught you up in his own broad arms, from the sweet god ravisher, who lost by the mystic fountain.
Sirs, though I do not know this man, I think I see him coming. The shepherd we want. He is old, like our friend here, and the men bring him seem to be servants of my house.
Wise man, you can trust him.
Tell me first, you from Corinth, is this the shepherd we were discussing?
This is the very man.
Come here. No, look at me. You must answer everything I ask. You belong to Laius?
Yes. Born his slave, brought up in his house.
Tell me, what kind of work did you do for him?
I was a shepherd of his most of my life.
Where may did you go for pasturage?
Sometimes Kithaeron, sometimes the hills nearby.
Do you remember ever seeing this man out here?
What would he be doing there? This man?
This man standing here. Have you ever seen him before?
No, at least not in my recollection.
And that is not strange, my lord, but I refresh his memory. He must remember when we two spent 3 whole seasons together, March to September, on Kithairon or thereabouts. He had 2 flocks, I had one. Each autumn I drive mine home, and he would go back with his to Laius' sheepfold. Is this not true, just as I have described it?
True, yes, but it was all long ago.
Well then, do you remember, back in those days, that you gave me a baby boy to bring up as my own?
What if I did? What are you trying to say?
King Oedipus was once that little child.
Damn you, hold your tongue.
No more of that!
No,
It is your tongue that needs watching, not this man's.
My king, my master, what is it I have done wrong?
You have not answered his questions about the boy.
He does not know. He is only making trouble.
Come, speak plainly, or it will go hard with you.
In God's name, do not torture an old man.
Come, here, one of you. Bind his arms behind him.
Unhappy king, what more do you wish to learn?
Did you give this man the child he speaks of?
I did, and I would to God I had died that very day.
You will die now. Ow. Eh, wait. You will die now unless you speak the truth.
Yet if I speak the truth, I am worse than dead.
Very well. Since you insist upon delaying,
No! I've told you already that gave him the boy.
where did you get him from? From your house? From somewhere else?
Not from mine. No, a man gave him to me.
Is this man here? Do you know whose slave he was?
For, for God's love, my king, do not ask me any more.
You are a dead man if I have to ask you again.
Then, then the child was from the palace of Laius.
A slave child? Or a child of his own line?
Uh, I'm on the brink of dreadful speech.
And I am of dreadful hearing. Yet I must hear.
If you must be told, then they said it was Laius's child, but it is your wife who can tell you about that.
My wife! Did she give it to you?
My lord, she did.
Do you know why?
I was told to get rid of it.
Unspeakable mother!
There have been prophecies.
Tell me.
It was said that the boy would kill his own father.
Then why did you give him over to this old man?
I pitied the baby, my king, and I thought this man would take him far away to his own country. He saved him, but for what a fate! For if you are what this man says you are, no man living is more wretched than Oedipus.
Ah, God! It was true! All the prophecies! Now, oh light, may I look on you on the last time. Ah, Oedipus! Oedipus damned in his birth, in his marriage! Damned! Damned in the blood he shed with his own hand!
alas for the seed of men! What measure shall I give these generations that breathe on the void and are void, and exist and do not exist? Who bears more weight of joy than mass of sunlight shifting in images? Or who shall make his thought stay on, that downtime drifts away? Your splendor, your splendor is all fallen, O naked brow of wrath and tears, O change of Oedipus! I who saw your days call no man blessed. Your great days like ghost gone.
That mine was a strong bow. Deep, how deep you drew it then, hard archer. At a deep, fearful range, and brought dear glory down. You overcame the stranger, the virgin in her looking iron lying cloth, and though death's sand stood like a tower, to make pale these they carved, fortress against our sorrow. True king, giver of laws, majestic Oedipus, no prince in Thebes, however such renown, no prince, one such grace of power.
And now, of all men ever known, most pitiful is this man's story. His fortunes are most changed, his state, fallen to allow slaves, ground under bitter fate. O Oedipus, most royal one, the great door that expelled you to the light, gave at night, gave night to your glory. As to the father, to the fathering son, all understood too late. How could that queen whom Laius won, the garden that he harrowed at his height, be silent when that act was done?
But all eyes fail before time's eye. All actions come to justice there. Though never will, though far down the deep path, your bed, your dead things are brought to book at last. Child by liars doomed to die, is doomed to lose that fortunate little death. But God, you never took breath in despair. That is my willing lips I take to die, for I weep the world outcast. I was blind, and now can tell why. In sleep for you had given ease of breath to these while the false years and
Elders of Thebes, most honored in this land, what horrors are yours to see and hear! What weight of sorrow to be endured, if true to your birth you venerate the line of Labdacos. You, I think neither Istros or Phasis, those great rivers, could purify this place of corruption. It shelters now, or soon must bring to light, evil not done unconsciously, but willed. The greatest griefs are those we cause ourselves.
surely, friend, we have grief enough already. What news or do you mean?
The queen is dead.
Eucas? Dead? But at whose hand?
Her own. The full horror of what happened you cannot know. For what For you did not see it, but I, who did, will tell you, as clearly as I can, how she met her death. When she left us, in passionate silence, passing through her court, she ran to her apartment in the house, her hair clutched by the fingers of both hands. She closed the doors behind her. Then, by that bed, where long ago the fatal son was conceived, that son who should bring about her father's death. We heard her call upon Laius, dead so many years, and heard her wail for the double fruit of her marriage, a husband by her husband, children by her child. Exactly how she died, I do not know, for Oedipus burst in moaning and would not let us keep vigil to the end. It was by him, as he stormed about the room, that our eyes were caught. From one to another of us he went, begging a sword, cursing the wife who she was, not his wife, the mother, whose womb had carried his own children and himself. I do not know. It was none of us aided him, but surely one of the gods was in control. But for with a dreadful cry he hurled his weight as though wrenched out of himself. At the twin doors the bolts gave and rushed in, and there we saw her hanging, her body swaying from the cruel cord she had loosed around her neck. A great sob broke from him. heartbreaking to hear. As he loosed the rope and lowered her to the ground, I would blot out from my mind what happened next, for the king ripped from her gown the golden brooches that were her ornament, and raised them and plunged them down straight into his own eyeballs, crying, "No more, no more shall you look on the misery about me, the horrors of my own doing. Too long you have known the faces of those whom I should have never seen, too long been blind to those for whom I was searching. From this hour go in darkness." And as he spoke, he struck at his eyes, not once, but many times, as the blood spattered his beard, bursting from his ruined sockets like red hail. So from the unhappiness of two this evil has sprung, a curse on the man and woman alike. The old happiness of the house of Labdacos was happiness enough. Where is it today? It is all wailing and ruin, disgrace, death, all the misery of mankind that has a name, and it is wholly for ever theirs.
Is he in agony still? Is there no rest for him?
He is calling for someone to lead him to the gates, so that all the children of Cadmos may look upon his father's murder, his mother's. No, I cannot say it. And then he will leave Thebes, self-exiled, in order for that curse which he himself pronounced may depart from the house. He is weak, and there is none to lead him. So terrible is his suffering. But you will see, look, the doors are opening. In a moment you will see a thing that would crush a heart of stone.
Dreadful indeed for men to see. Never have my own eyes looked on a sight so full of fear. Oedipus, what madness came upon you? What demon leaped on your life with heavier punishment than a mortal man can bear? No, I cannot even look at you, poor ruined one, and I would speak, question, hounded, horrible. No, you make me shudder.
God, God, is there a sorrow greater? Where shall I find harbor in this world? My voice is heard far on a dark wind. What has God done to me?
Too terrible to think of, to see.
O cloud of night, night never to be turned away. Night coming on. I can't tell how. Night like a shroud. My fair winds brought me here. O God, again. The pain of the spikes where I had sight. The flooded pain of memory, never to be gouged out.
This is not strange. We suffer it all twice over. Remorse and pain, pain and remorse.
Ah, dear friend, are you faithful even yet you alone? Are you still standing near me? Will you stay here, patient to care for the blind? Yet even blind, the blind man, yet even blind I know who it is attends me, by the voice of tone, though my new darkness hides the comforter.
Oh, fearful laugh! What god was it drove you to make black night across your eyes? Oedipus,
Apollo, Apollo, dear children, the god was Apollo. He brought my sick, sick fate upon me. But my blinding hand was my own. How could I bear to see when all my sight was horror everywhere?
everywhere, that is true.
And now what is left? Images? Love? A greeting even. Sweet to the senses. Is there anything? Ah, no, friends, lead me away. Lead me away from Thebes. Lead the great wreck and hell of Oedipus, whom the gods hate.
Your fate is clear. You are not blind to that. With God, you have never found it out.
Death, take the man who unbound my feet on the hillside and delivered me from death to life. What life! If I had died, this weight of monstrous doom could not have been dragged me and my darlings down.
I would have never wished to see you.
Oh, never to have come here with my father's blood upon me. Never to have been the man they call his mother's husband. To have entered that wretched bed, the self same one more primal than sin itself. This fell to me.
I do not know how can I answer you. You are better dead than alive and blind.
Do not counsel me any more. This punishment that I've laid upon myself is just. If I had eyes, I do not know how I could bear the sight of my father when I come to the house of death, or my mother, for I have sinned against them both. So vilely I could not make my peace by strangling my own life. Or do you think my children, born as they were born, would be sweet to my eyes? Ah, never, never! Oh, this town with its high walls. No, the holy images of gods. For I, thrice miserable, Oedipus, noblest of all the line of Cadmus, have condemned myself to enjoy these things no more by my own malediction, expelling that man who the gods declared to be the defilement in the house of Laius, after exposing the rankness of my own guilt. How could I look men frankly in the eyes? No, I swear it. If I could have been stifled by hearing at its source, I would have done it and made all this body a tight cell of misery, blank to light and sound, so I should have been safe in a dark agony beyond all recollection. Ah, Kithiron, why did you shelter me when I was cast upon you? Why did I not die? That I should never have shown the world of my execrable birth. Polybus, Corinth, city that I believe the ancient seat of my ancestors, how fair I seemed, your child, and all the while this evil was cancerous within me. For I am sick in my daily life, sick to my origin. Oh, three roads, dark ravine, woodland and way where the three roads meet. It met you, drinking my father's blood, my own blood, spilled by my own hands. Can you remember the unspeakable things I did there, and the things I went on from there to do? Oh, marriage, marriage, the act that was engendered me, and again the act performed by the sons in the same bed. Ah, the net of incest, mingling fathers, brothers, sons. with brides, wives, and mothers. The last evil that can be known by men. No tongue can say how evil. No, for the love of God, conceal me somewhere far from Thebes, or kill me or hurl me into the sea, away from men's eyes forever. Come, lead me. You need not fear to touch me. Of all men, I alone bear this guilt.
We are not ones to decide, but Creon here may fitly judge of what you ask. He only is
Alas,
left to take the city in your place.
alas, how can I speak to him? What right have I to beg his courtesy, whom I have deeply wronged?
I have not come to mock you, Oedipus, or to reproach you either. You, standing there, if you have lost all respect for man's dignity, at least respect the flame of Lord Helios. Do not allow this pollution to show itself openly here, an affront to the earth and heaven's reign and the light of day. No, take him into the house as quickly as you can, for it is proper that only the close kindred see his grief.
I pray to you, in God's name, since your courtesy ignores my dark expectation, visiting with the mercy this man of all men most execrable. Give me what I ask, for your own good, not for mine.
And what is it that you want me to do?
Drive me out of this country as quickly as may be, to a place where no human voice can ever greet me.
I should have done that before now. Only God's will had not been wholly revealed to me.
But his command is plain. The parasite must be destroyed. I am that evil man.
That is some sense of it, yes. But as things are, we had best discover clearly what is to be done.
Would learn more about a man like me.
You are ready now to listen to the God.
I will listen, but it's to you that I must turn for help. I beg you, hear me! The woman in there, give her whatever funeral you think proper. She is your sister. But let me go, Creon. Let me purge my father's thieves of the pollution of my living here, and go out to the wild hills to Kithaeron, that has won such fame with me, the tomb my mother and father appointed for me, and let me die there, as they willed it. I should, yet I know death will never ever come to me through sickness or in any natural way. I have been preserved for some unthinkable fate, but let that be. As for my sons, you need not care for them. They are men. They will find some way to live. But my poor daughters, who have shared my table, who have never been imparted from their father, take care of them, Creon. Do this for me. And will you let me touch them with my hands a last time? And let us weep together. Be kind, my lord. Great prince, be kind. When I could touch them, they would be mine again as when I had eyes. Ah, God, God, is that my dearest children I hear weeping? Has Creon pitied me and sent my daughters?
Yes, Oedipus, I know that they were dear to you in the old days, and now you must love them still.
May God bless you for this, and be a friendlier guardian to you than has been to me. Children, where are you? Come quickly to my hands. They are your brothers. Hands have brought your father's once clear eyes to this way of seeing. Ah, dearest ones, I had neither sight nor knowledge then. Your father by the woman who was the source of his own life, and I weep for you. Having no strength to see, I weep you for you when I think of all the bitterness that men will visit upon you on all your lives. What homes, what festivals can you attend without being forced to part again in tears? And when you come to marriageable age, where is the man, my daughters, who would dare risk the bane that lies on all my children? Is there any evil wanting? Who would dare? Is it your father killed his father, sowed the womb of her who bore him, engendered you at the fount of his own existence? That is what they say of you. Then whom can you ever marry? There are no bridegrooms for you, and all our lives must wither away in sterile dreaming. O Creon, son of Menoiacus, you are the only father my daughters have. Since we, their parents, are both of us gone forever, they are of your own blood. You will not let them fall into beggary and loneliness. You will keep them from miseries that are mine. Take pity on them. See, they are only children, friendless except for you. Promise me this, great prince. Give me your hand in token of it. Children, I could say much if you could understand me. But as it is, I have only this prayer for you. Live where you can. Be happy as you can. Happier, please God, than God has made your father.
Enough. You have wept enough. Now go within.
I must, but it is hard.
Time is all things.
But you must promise.
Say what you desire.
Send me from Thebes!
God grant that I may.
But since God hates me,
No, He will grant your wish.
you promise?
I cannot speak beyond my knowledge.
Then lead me in.
Come now, and leave your children.
No! Do not take him from me!
Think no longer that you are in command here, but rather think how, when you were, serve your own destruction.
Men of Thebes, look upon Oedipus. This is the king who solved the famous riddle, and towered up, most powerful of men. No mortal eyes but looked on him with envy, yet in the end, ruin swept over him. Let every man in mankind's frailty consider his last day, and let none presume on his good fortune, until he find life at his death a memory without pain.